Dear students, I am Dr. Basavaraj N. Nakki, Associate Professor of History, Government First Aid College, Dandeli. This is the 15th session of Indian History, Paper 1 of BA 5th semester affiliated to Karnataka University. The present presentation is on Robert Clive, Introduction, his early life, and military achievements. Robert Clive, who was the first British governor of Bengal Presidency, was born on 29 September 1725. He got appointment as a writer in the service of East India Company in 1744. At Madras, he got access with the library of the governor and read variety of books and acquired a lot of knowledge. At the time, East India Company had a small settlement at Fort St. George near the village Madras Pattanam, which was later on named as Madras. He arrived to Fort St. George in June 1744 and spent 2 years as assistant shopkeeper. He served as Governor of Bengal, Governor General of India, and Commander in Chief of the British Army. He won the Second Carnatic War and Battle of Plassey. He too participated in the First Carnatic War and defeated by Dupleix. When he came to South India, it was divided into a number of states of the Mughal Empire. After the death of Aurangzeb in 1707, the Mughal Empire started to decline because of weak successors and provincial viceroys called Subedars of Hyderabad, Karnataka were very strong in South India. The British territory at Fort St. George and French colony at Pondicherry were located near the Nawab's territory of Hyderabad. The relationship between the Europeans in India was influenced by a series of wars and treaties in Europe. There was a close competition between them in trade and commerce of Indian subcontinent. As you know very well, the French, the British, they came to India mainly with an intention to carry on trade and commerce, and they settled at the nearby places each other, both in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, as well as Bengal. As a result of this, there were frequent clashes between them for the supremacy. So, in the 17th and early part of 18th century, the French, the Dutch, the Portuguese, and the British had close competition for the control of various trading posts and for trading rights and to get support of the native Indian rulers. This was inevitable for them to protect their political interest and trading rights in India. The European merchant communities raised military troops to protect their commercial interest and laterally to influence local politics to their advantage. Hence, there was competition among them for strengthening the military to secure trade and commerce in India. But then it was used to extend their territory and to collect rent revenue. This is how the British changed their policy from trading organization into an administrative unit. For this, the local political condition of India was very much favorable for their interference in the internal affairs of India. Let us see the First Carnatic War, which was fought between 1746 to 1748 in South India. Here, Carnatic means that is a separate state in present Tamil Nadu. It is not at all related to present Karnataka state. In 1720, France effectively nationalized the French East India Company and began using it to expand its territorial interest or imperial interest. This became a source of conflict with the British in India and with the entry of the Britain into the War of Austrian Succession in 1744. Really, the Austrian Succession War took place in Europe, where both Britain and French were in the battlefield. As a result of this, that influenced in the Indian affairs. This has resulted in the first Carnatic War in South India. The conflict began with a British naval attack on a French fleet in 1745. So the French Governor General Dupleix requested additional force from Mauritius for his help because the navy and army he had in India was not sufficient to fight against the British. So he sent a request to his counterpart, La Bourdonnais, who was in Mauritius, to bring his troops to India. On 4 September 1746, Madras was attacked by the French forces led by La Bourdonnais. After several fightings between them, the British surrendered and the French entered the city of Madras. The British leaders were taken as a prisoner and sent to Pondicherry. According to understanding, it was decided to that the town should be restored to the British after the negotiation. But this was opposed by Dupleix, who sought to annex Madras to the French. Clive and few others did not agree for this, so they were arrested and kept in custody by the French. But however, he was escaped from there to Fort Saint David near the British post at Kadalur in Tamil Nadu. But Clive succeeded in defeating the French attack with the help of Nawab of Carnatic. The company quickly recognized the bravery of Clive by the superior officer, namely Major Stringler Lawrence, who arrived in 1748 to take command of the British troops at Fort Saint David. It was during this siege of Pondicherry, Clive had played a distinguished role in defending the British force. But due to the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle in Europe, the British succeeded in getting back their lost territories. Hence, Madras was once again returned to British in 1749. Actually, the Aix-la-Chapelle was a treaty concluded between France and Britain in Europe in order to end the Austrian War of Succession. As a result of this, they ordered to their respective companies in India to stop the war and agree the terms and conditions of the treaty. Accordingly, both the European powers restored their original territories to them. The end of the war between Britain and France did not end the hostilities between them in India. The British had sent an expedition to Tanjore on behalf of its claimant to its throne. Robert Clive, who was promoted to lieutenant, failed to win the conflict. Let us see the Tanjore expedition. Major Lawrence, in order to save the prestige of the British, had dispatched an army of 30 soldiers and 700 Sipahis to invade the fort of Tanjore, but this time Clive was saved by Lawrence. The Tanjore was defeated and agreed for a treaty. Accordingly, Devi Kottai and the coast were given to the British. The king supported by the British, so he was given a pension in exchange of renouncing his claim over the throne. Madras was returned to the British. There was opposition to Clive's strength, but however, Lawrence protected him by keeping a job at Fort St. George. Let us see the Second Carnatic War, which was fought between 1749 to 1754. Clive played an important role in encouraging Muhammad Ali to attack upon Arcot. Accordingly, Chand Sahib rushed to Arcot to protect it. At that time, Robert Clive, with a force of only 210 men, stormed and captured Arcot in August 1751. The French force surrendered and Chand Sahib was treacherously killed by the Raja of Tanjore. This was a great victory to the British and setback to the French, which sealed the fate of Dupleix. As a result of this, after the defeat of French in the Second Carnatic War, he was called back and he was succeeded by Godehou in 1754 as Governor General of France or French East India Company. Let us see about the Battle of Plassey of 1757. This battle was fought between Siraj-ud-Dowlah, the Nawab of Bengal, and Robert Clive, the commander of the British Army. Here also Clive bribed Manik Chand and Nawab's officer in charge of Calcutta and his lieutenant Mir Jafar and few others. As a result of this, Siraj-ud-Dowlah was defeated in the Battle of Plassey. A peace treaty was signed at Alinagar, which was later named as Calcutta by Siraj-ud-Dowlah, in which privileges of trade, permission to fortify Calcutta city and compensation to the company were granted to the British. This battle was the victory of the conspirators sketched by Clive and Mir Jafar. At that time, there was no French governor general in India to help Siraj. He planned to declare Mir Jafar as new Nawab of Bengal after this Battle of Plassey, who in turn agreed to give compensation for the losses they suffered. In 1757, Clive captured French settlement Chandranagar in West Bengal and defeated Siraj Dowlah at Plassey on 23rd June 1757. Siraj Dowlah was captured and put to death. Mir Jafar was declared as the Nawab of Bengal. All the French settlements in Bengal were surrendered to the British. Within a short period, Mir Jafar was overthrown and succeeded by Mir Qasim as the Nawab of Bengal. Thus, Clive helped for the monopoly of trade and commerce in Bengal. Let us see his fight against Dutch in 1759. The Dutch had a small settlement at Chinsura near Chandranagar in Bengal. Dutch fleet of 7 ships arrived at the mouth of River Hooghly in October 1759. The British force under the Colonel Francis Ford defeated the Dutch in the Battle of Chinsura. Thus, Clive took revenge of their defeat at Amboyning. He fortified Calcutta and then returned to England with huge wealth after 4 years of hard labor. This is about Robert Clive and his early life and his military achievements. Thank you.